So welcome back. It is a rainy Sunday here in May, and figured today would be a pretty good opportunity to do a little spring maintenance. You guys have probably seen this in the past if you've seen the other videos. This Jeep sits in the corner of the garage, and it's a little neglected right now. We got a flat tire. This thing needs new tires. Be interested to hear what you think. So this is on a 2-inch lift with 33s right now, and I'm kind of considering if we should put a 4-inch lift and 35s on it. I think that'd look pretty cool. Or we just leave it the way it is and just put some new sneakers under it. These tires are spent and it is definitely due for some new tires. But in the meantime, we're going to give it an oil change, a little bit of grease, and then over in the back here, if you've seen this, probably not. It's usually hidden in the back of the garage. But I take, and our boat sits out here in the wintertime in this back bay, and it's a good opportunity for it to stay nice and stay warm. The garage is heated, so we leave the boat right inside all winter. And I think it's worth it. I lose a whole lot of garage space, but this actually doesn't even get winterized. I drain the block, but that's it's kind of a fall winterizing. It's not a full drain, so I think it's a lot better for the upholstery. It's a lot better for the boat. It doesn't get mildew in it, so I sacrifice a garage bay in the wintertime and leave this in here. But it is due for an Outdrive service and an oil change. I change the oil every year, in the engine oil, of course. We don't put a lot of hours on it, so it doesn't require an oil change more than once a year. I change the oil, and I change the Outdrive oil every 2 years. So this has a 4.5 liter V6, 250 horsepower Mer Cruiser, and it's got the Bravo 3 Outdrive on it. So we're going to service the Outdrive and change the oil in this today too. So let's get after it. We're going to start with the Jeep. First, let's get this tire taken care of. This is embarrassing. I'm not entirely sure where the leak is in this tire, but it has a slow leak last fall, and as it parked over the winter, it got all the way down flat. Might just be in the valve stem or something. These tires are quite old, and they are worn out, as I said, so they need to be replaced, but they'll do for the moment. There's 35 pounds. I don't know, I just love having a little wood heat going. I got a fire going out here in the garage. It's about 70 degrees in here, and it's about 40 degrees and raining outside, wet, nasty out there, but wow, this just makes it so nice to hang out here. All right, let's get the oil changed in this old girl. This is this is my wife's purchase. We've had it for quite a few years, but it's a 2005, and it has about 85,000 miles on it. And to my knowledge, it's never seen a Maine winter. And if you're from the Northeast or in the winter, you know, the states where we actually get some real winter and salt, you know what it means when you have a vehicle that's not been in the salt. This has never been in the salt, so the frame on it looks like it's brand new. And this is how it spends its winters, and it should last us a really long time. It's got the 4-liter inline-six in here, and I really want to just take care of that. All right, we need a 5/8 here, and this has not been run since last year, so it should be a little cold. Should drain off all right. That oil looks pretty clean. Hey, check it out. We got some help out here.
Hey, what's up? Scrubbing the boat.
How's it coming?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Nice little shine to it.
What are you using?
This Chemical Guys Total Interior Cleaner and Protected.
Yeah.
It's doing pretty good. Gets a good layer off of it.
All right. Well, good. You get all cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And then I'll come get it dirty when I change the oil in a few minutes. Well, it's an interesting situation. This Jeep takes a PH16 oil filter. And so I got the Tough Guard version, TG16. All right, so I pull the oil filter out, and I look at it and I think, that doesn't look right. Okay. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. Those aren't the same. I take it out and it's a pH 30 in a TG16 box. Now I have to go back to Walmart. Not much I can do about this. That doesn't fit. It looks like the inner ring is about the same, but I don't know. They're not the same filter, so I'm probably not going to just try it. I don't think that's a good idea. All right, this project goes on hold for now. I'll check back with you after I get back from the store. So the guy at the service desk was super helpful. He apologized for the inconvenience that happened, and it's not his fault, obviously. Sent me right out back and had me grab a new one. While I was there, I thought, hey, I'm going to check and see what the price of a pH 30 filter is compared to the TG16 that I got. And of course, one was about $4 and the other $7. So somebody apparently decided they needed a $3 discount on their oil filter today at, I guess, my expense. The price, let's see, diesel's $5.69 a gallon, and I just drove 11 miles to go to town and back, so it just cost me $5 in fuel. Pretty good deal. Yeah, whoever it is, you're welcome. All right, we're back. Okay, much better. That's the right one. This filter mounts horizontally, so I can't pre-fill it. It's gonna have to go in just like this and go in dry. Honestly, I think that's probably tight enough. I almost couldn't get it off with the, when I pulled the other one off, it was on so tight. I probably put the filter wrench on it and gave it a little snug, and I shouldn't have done that last time, so I think this is tight enough. Bit of a pain, but this funnel will get that in there just fine. All right, 6 quarts. All right, there's 6 quarts. We'll let that drain in. Check it. That should be good. Yeah, it's pretty hard to see, but you take my word for it, it's full. It's actually a little bit high, but the engine hasn't been started, and I'm not ready to take this out of the garage right now, so I'm not going to start it, but it should be up just a little bit because it still needs to fill the filter and circulate the oil, so it'll drop a little bit. I'm happy with that. Coolant. Everything okay in there?
Yeah, I smacked my head on the light.
Any bad words coming from the other room.
One more thing, I must throw the battery charger on this thing. It's on the tractor because this hasn't run for a month, probably. It's the last time this tractor ran. For its big shed, so I've complained about this battery before. I'll continue to complain about it. Jeep has a pretty good battery. We put one in it 2 years ago. And I unhook it over the winter, do the charge, pull and run it again. 12.3 volts after sitting all winter. That's pretty good. If you ever change the oil, get an inboard boat like this, but there's no way in this one to get underneath it. I know there are some boats where you can actually access a drain hose up underneath it. This you cannot. So the way this works is you pull the dipstick out. There's actually where the dipstick goes down in, it's like a straw. And you have to use a suction tool that you suck the oil out. And it's a slow process, but it's effective and it works. So I'll show you how we do that. First, pull the dipstick out and wipe it off because Krista just cleaned this, so we're doing it backwards. Put this right over. It just so happens it fits perfectly over that. And then, there, sucky. Oh, that's open the crankcase so we don't create a vacuum. Okay. And here it goes. It's a slow process, but you can see the markings when this fills up in the tank. Of course, this is cold. It's been parked all winter. If it was warmer, it works a lot better, but I don't want to start it with old oil in it, so we're going to do this. This holds 5 quarts. I usually can't get more than 4 out of it. Doesn't pull all 5 quarts out doing this, so that's okay. We'll get what we can. And super convenient oil filter is right here beside it, so we'll swap that out as well. All right, we'll let this drain and check back in like 20 minutes. Whoever at Mer Cruiser thought this was a good idea, you guys are right. What a way to put an oil filter in something. Just like that. Verify the seal's still on here, and it's clean. It's kind of hard to see, it's dark in here, but just verify that that's clean in here. But you can see everything just lives right here. So super convenient. Roll this one on. All right, we're at I don't know, I can't see. There's a couple of quarts in here at least. It's getting heavy. I don't know how long it's been. It's been 20 minutes or so already. We're not done yet. You'll hear it gurgle down in the crankcase when it starts pulling air through the bottom of the motor. So we'll keep waiting, and then we'll fill it back up. All right, I hear it's starting to suck air. You can hear it. You probably can't hear it on the camera, but you can hear it sucking from down in the sun. So there. And as I said, I think it's only about, looks like it's a little over 4 quarts, and there was probably some oil in this. All right, now we can top it off with fresh oil. And that's it for an oil change on this thing. Pretty easy oil change. Super easy, actually. Now, this takes, what it calls for is this premium synthetic, it's a synthetic blend marine oil, 25W40. Now this is basically I believe it was a 4.2 V6 that GM made. It's pretty much the exact same engine that GM used to supply the engines for Mer Cruiser, and then my understanding is Mercury bought this engine, and they continue to make it. So they make it in a 200 horsepower and a 250. Same engine, programming I assume. I don't know if it's a cam. I really have no idea what the difference is. They run really nice and they're very reliable. So I'm a fan. Now this is supposed to take 5 quarts. Of course the store only had a 4-quart jug, so that's what I'm putting in. I think I only took about 4.5 out. So we'll see how this looks. I'll probably need to find another quart of oil somewhere just to make sure it's full. I don't really want to run it all summer down 1/2 quart. All right, that's it for an oil change. So the next trick is we need to drain the Outdrive oil out of the back. I actually got to pull the boat ahead a little bit here in the garage because the prop is right up against the wall. So somehow we got to figure out how to roll this ahead about 1 foot. And then that's a special sequence to change the Outdrive oil, because if you just fill it from the top, it'll get air pockets in it and then you'll ruin gears and very expensive Outdrive. So this has a filler from up in here. It's kind of a top off. I shouldn't call it a filler. It's used to top it off. And there's a sensor in there that's tied to the computer in the boat. And so it'll tell you if the Outdrive oil is low. And you can top off the oil from here. So if it gets down a little bit for any reason, you can put a little more in. That's my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong, but you have to drain it and fill it from out back and then pump it up into here. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, somehow we need to move this boat ahead. As I mentioned a minute ago, this is how hopefully you can see it in here. That's how the prop is right now. It's actually up against that wall right now. So we need to deal with that because we need to let the Outdrive has to come down so that we can drain the oil out of it. So I got to try to push this thing ahead, and
it's had everything stored against it all winter. So this back garage turns into a disaster area. I think the best I can hope for is to give it a little push right here on one of these tires, and that will roll it forward. There. This thing weighs like 4,000 pounds. So it's not light, but it's movable. All right, let's chock the wheels so it doesn't roll. There. Not a lot of room back here, but there's enough. We're gonna put that Outdrive down. Here we go. How's that looking? I can't see from where I am. I can't see in the trim control setting. The display is on a computer screen. So remember when I told you that I didn't winterize this? I don't know if you can see that, but there's water dripping right now. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's pitch dark back here. All right. So the way this works is we're going to pull this plug right here. And there's the slimy green gear oil that smells like 90 weight. You guys know what I'm talking about. So all this drains, I'm going to talk about this Outdrive real quick. I don't know if you're familiar with the Bravo 3. This is the Bravo 3 Outdrive, and you'll notice it's a dual prop configuration, and they're counter rotating. So you can see this is forward. Obviously this is reverse. And basically what's going on is there's a inner shaft that this is connected to and an outer shaft that this one's connected to. And they're just geared together. And then back here, the main drive comes down into the base. My understanding is there's a gear that's spinning this way, you know, and so the outer shaft is keyed on one side and the outer shaft is keyed here and the inner shaft is keyed or is geared back here. And so that spinning just simply drives these two props together. And the benefit of it is you'll notice there's no trim keel here. These are designed so that they where they counter rotate, they offset each other's. There's a bit of a torque twist, so to speak, and I can't remember the technical term for it, but it makes the boat tend to not track straight, but with the counter rotating props that takes that away. It gives it a little better grip in the water and helps it plane out quicker. So I did not order this boat. Someone else ordered it and didn't take it, and then we happened to get a chance to buy it. So I probably wouldn't have spent the money for the Bravo 3, but this is what it had, and man, I love it. It's a really cool setup, and it takes and pulls this boat out of the water very efficiently. So something else I just noticed here, and honestly I've never picked up on this before, but I was wondering, I was expecting somebody's going to ask me what's the pitch on these props. Interestingly, and man, I don't know much about props, so you can tell me what it is. I can Google it, I suppose. But you'll see that this back one, or the front prop, is a 15.5 by 24 pitch, I'm assuming, left hand. Well, this one over here is a 14 by 24 right hand. So I suppose that means I was going to assume that they're a different length or diameter, 15.5, and this is a 14, but yeah, I don't know. They look to be the same. Maybe you can tell me what they are. Again, I'm just not a prop guy, so I don't really know what that. Not 100% sure what that means. All right, so this is going to take a long time. This is the speed it comes out, and there's about 3 quarts we got to drain out of here. There is a cap on the inside. I'll pull that cap and hope to make it drain a little faster. But when I drained the vent or pulled the vent on top earlier and that didn't change it, I don't think it's going to matter. It's just thick. It's 90 weight oil. It's slow. So we'll check back in a little bit, maybe even tomorrow. Hey, all right. So it's been a few days, several days actually, since I pulled the plug on this and started draining the Outdrive. Now what we're going to do next is this is a really easy process. If you've never changed the Outdrive oil yourself, piece of cake. It's no big deal to do it, but you have to do it in this order. You have to pump the oil back up in through. So I've got a special little pump that you can get it right at Walmart, Amazon, whatever, and it goes on your quart bottle, and you pump the oil up from the bottom of the Outdrive, and it pushes it up through to the top, and I'll show you that as we do it. But I just want to take a second and explain that, because if you put it in from the top, or like in this boat, it actually has the reservoir up by the engine, and so you can top it off up there, but you can't fill it from up there because it drains down in. And I'm not really sure exactly why it does it. You guys probably know more than I do about this for sure, but if you don't push it up from the bottom, it can get air pockets around the gears. And when that happens, you get dry gears, and it'll ruin it in no time. So you absolutely have to pump it up from the bottom. It's easy to do, so we're going to do that right now. All right, so we're using this is what's recommended here, but this is a Mer Cruiser Mercury, so good for all modern outboards and stern drives. It's a 90 weight synthetic blend. This is just a Walmart brand. Pop this open again, and this is how you tell when it's full. So we're just going to pump it in until it comes out the top. Cap this, and then keep pumping until it gets all the way to fill the reservoir up above. See, there's a little yellow washer right there. That's got to be in there. I saw that down below. And this should take about 3 quarts altogether. I think it's going to take 2 quarts about to get up to here. The 3rd quart will push it up to the tank up by the motor. Somewhere in this quart, this should start coming out the top. So we're going to watch that as we pump this in. My Outdrive's not tilted all the way. I recognize that. There's a little bit of oil that's going to lay in here. The oil that came out was pretty clean. I just did this 2 summers ago, and we don't put a lot of hours on this boat, really. You know, it probably doesn't have, I bet it doesn't have 40 hours of time on that oil that was in it. So, and I see oil coming. There it is. We're at the top. As you can see that's about 1.5 quarts has gone in to get it up to here. And like I just said, there was still a little bit in here. I think it was supposed to take about 2 quarts, but not surprising, there was still a little bit in it. 1.5 is perfectly reasonable to me. Now I'm going to keep pumping, and we're going to push it all the way up through, and it'll show up in the container up by the engine. I'll show you that in a second. All right, here's the 3rd quart going in. I would expect it any minute. Okay. Yeah, so if I remember right, last time I did this, when you start pumping it in, it doesn't take long, and it fills that container, that reservoir up above. So we got to go slowly now that she sees it. So we cap that off, it's full up above, and what we got to do down here is I'm just going to back this off, throw that screw in real quick, and catch it. We should be good to go. Yeah, so that comes out under a lot of pressure, and I remember that now. But we just quickly swap it over, let that settle. It's going to drop a little bit in the reservoir above, but we didn't lose so much that I can put more into the reservoir up top, and we'll be good. All right, so we'll let this sit and then check back in here in a little bit how much is in the reservoir up top. I'll also double check to make sure it's up here in the overflow up top here, the vent. Okay, we've let this settle for half an hour or so, and now let's just check and make sure that this is topped off. And oh yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right. You can see it, it's right about there. So when we first start the engine, we'll watch that, you know, all the other fluids anyway, make sure there are no water leaks, everything's going as it should when we drop it in the lake. And usually I do that before I take it off the trailer, just put the engine down, get it in the water a little bit, start it, let it run. And that's one of the things we'll check. If I need to pull a little bit out, I'll pull a little bit out, but I think it'll probably drop just a touch once we get going. So anyway, that's it. Next step is I'm going to show you how we pull a 8-foot high boat through a 7-foot door. quite turn the tractor up here, so it gets a little sketchy. We have to unhook it, and then I'll come around to the side, grab it, and we'll pull it sideways and look more. Now luckily a tractor is not like your vehicle, and so the steering is very tight turning, I guess. Well, I can turn that sharp enough. You see I still got to pull the boat straight out. I should be able to just turn the front wheels on the tractor tight enough to make it pull straight out. And Lydia's going to tell me when it's cool, how to work it. Alright, so we're going to cover this up, and I'm going to ride it down to the lake tonight. So that's going to be for another episode. We got to put in all the docks and the boat lift and get the boat in the water. That's it for this episode. Next time we're going to get it in the water, get it on the boat lift, get all set up down there. So appreciate you stopping by and watching. See you in the next one.